Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital early spoilers June 9th to 13th. Willow goes for Sasha and Lulu bashed. On Wednesday, June 4th, Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, is up on the stand at the divorce/custody hearing. No doubt Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, has lots of questions. But the question is, how much does Willow's lawyer know? I don't know if you noticed it, but on the most recent episode, Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watrose, was looking a little guilty when Sasha came into the courtroom. So, there's a cloud of question around whether Nina shares what she knows. Sasha also takes the stand on Wednesday. And Rick asks when was the last time she and Michael had sex. So yeah, that begs the question. Did Nina tell Rick that Michael cheated with Sasha? And it seems likely that Nina did. If not, Rick may have figured it out on his own. Maybe he followed the same path as Nina. Maybe he went to the Brown Dog Bar. Timeline of betrayals. Michael, Sasha, Willow, and Drew. And just real quick, because I got a couple of comments, people not understanding the order of things and thinking that Willow did the deed first. Let me give you the timeline real quick, just to refresh you. October 29th, Drew Kane Quartermaine, Cameron Matheson, told Michael he had kissed Willow and he did it to stop Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, and Ned Quartermaine, Wally Kurth, from trying to blackmail him over ELQ votes. Then the next day, October 30th, Michael woke up in bed with Sasha. So Michael had found out Willow had kissed Drew and Sasha had just found out Cody Bell, Josh Kelly, was her cousin, and they were both drinking at the Brown Dog. They woke up in bed together. So that was October 30th. On November 5th, 6 days later, several episodes later, was when Willow shagged Drew in the nursery with no idea the nanny cam was watching. And it was over a month later on December 12th when Michael and all the Quartermaines got to see that sketchy sex tape thanks to the security bear. So there you go. Definitely Michael slept with Sasha before Willow slept with Drew. He did it on October 30th. She did it on November 5th. In terms of episodes, it was just a few. And in terms of actual days in Port Charles, it was probably just a few. But just so you know, if you were one of the ones who were asking me, Port Charles drama, secrets, suspicions, and surprises. So, looks like Sasha stresses out on this stand because Rick seems to know. Plus, Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, and Laura Spencer, Jeannie Francis, discuss their families. Obviously, the Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, and Gio Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza stuff. I wonder if she's going to bring up the missing $10 million from Ace's fund. And Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, gets pushy with Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna. We haven't seen him in a minute. I miss him. And this could be about Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, or the investigation into Sunny Penthouse bombing. Anna feels like she is really on to something. Says she's close to figuring something out. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine, Amanda Seton, is furious as she rips into Lulu's and says she intentionally destroyed her life. And Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, surprises Liz Weber, Rebecca Herbst. Well, does he propose? I don't know how much of a surprise it'll be because she knows that there's a ring box. Now, I guess it would be surprising if there's something other than a ring in there, but it definitely looked like a ring box. Maybe it's going to be a ring pop or something, Plus, Gio tells Emma Scorpio Drake, Braden Bruner, that he feels like the only person he can trust right now is Sonny on General Hospital. And now, he's not even sure that he can trust him, obviously, because how close he is to Lois Cerullo. Laura tells Sonny that this thing that's very vague could have huge repercussions. And I think we're back to him selling the peers to Sidwell, maybe. And Brooke Lynn congratulates Lulu on succeeding in destroying her life. But I do expect Lulu to tell BLQ she did it to herself. I don't think she's going to be very apologetic. General Hospital spoilers, Thursday's turmoil, confrontations, confessions, and medical emergencies. Thursday, June 5th, Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, and Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, invite family over. Looks like Marshall Ashford, Robert Gossett, is back in town. Maybe Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, will come over with Trina Robinson, Tabiana Ali. It's all very odd since Curtis is still angry with Portia and questioning his marriage. But since she did come clean to him, about the ketamine stuff, maybe that has convinced him to give her a chance because she was still sitting on that and she came clean. She told the truth for a change. Sasha is feeling quite overwhelmed, and it looks like when Rick starts questioning her about sleeping with Michael that she goes into premature labor. Obviously, Rick has freaked her out. And then that same day, Willow leaps into action, and I'm guessing she is going to go straight for Sasha, make a beeline for her, but not to come at her for sleeping with her husband, but because Willow's a nurse and Sasha's very pregnant, is clearly having some sort of medical crisis. And of course, Brando Corbin, Johnny Wachter, and Sasha's baby died not long after birth, and Sasha has been very stressed out about this high-risk pregnancy. So, I think Willow is going to jump in there as a nurse, which is the right thing to do. Lucky faces a painful truth, and I wonder if he worries that Liz won't commit to him while he is committed to Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey, basically uncovering her dirty secret, and because he hasn't really committed to staying in Port Charles and putting down real long-term roots. Anna's suspicions grow and she confides in Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, and that's why it seems likely about the penthouse bombing. Friday's fallout, regrets, revelations, and reckoning. Friday, June 6th, Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos, and Cody open up to each other. I'm guessing that Cody is going to share some of his regrets about the Geo situation. Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper, and Curtis catch up. I wonder if he is going to tell her about the ketamine. Drew is quite concerned, and he may be reacting to Carly Corinthos Spencer's, Laura Wright, outburst about Nina having him drugged. And you know, Willow may think that she's going to have to dump him to keep even partial custody of the kids because now she looks like a cheater with a psycho mom and a sketchy boyfriend. Carly corners Jason, and I'm betting that she is chewing him out for pretending to be the father of Sasha baby when that baby is clearly Carly's grandchild and Nina confesses. So, she may admit to Willow she drugged Drew and why. Next week's drama. Custody battles, confrontations, and complications. The episodes of June 9th through the 13th. Michael is probably reconsidering on pushing for full custody at this point now that the whole Sasha thing seems to have come out. There's obviously going to be some fallout from Carly slinging that accusation at Nina in court on General Hospital. I wonder if Max Scorpio, John J. York, will follow up. If there is a trail to follow with Brad Cooper, Perry Shan, and Jacinda, Paige Herschel, both gone and there's nothing necessarily linking it. Nina never confirmed to Carly that she did indeed do it. Like Carly was impressed with her, but I don't remember Nina settled over Port Charles in recent weeks vanished in an instant, as tensions exploded between old friends, estranged lovers, and long-brewing rivals. Willow Corinthos, usually the image of compassion and control, finally snapped, unleashing a storm that left Sasha reeling and the entire hospital gossiping. But while Willow's fury scorched the corridors, Lulu Spencer returned from her coma to face the chaos, only to find herself brutally bashed in a shocking act of violence that left the town trembling once again. Willow's breaking point. It began innocently enough. A chance encounter at the Metro Court. Sasha Gilmore, newly returned from a modeling trip, stopped by to visit Nina, glowing from a recent endorsement deal that had finally put her back on the map. Willow, there to meet Michael after his business call, wasn't expecting to cross paths with her former friend. The tension was immediate. Sasha smiled warmly, perhaps too warmly. "Willow," she said cautiously, "you look great. How's everything with the kids?" Willow's eyes flickered. The tone in Sasha's voice, the mix of pity and politeness, lit a spark she could no longer contain. "Everything's fine," she replied tightly. "Not that it's any of your concern anymore." Sasha's brow furrowed, clearly taken aback. "I didn't mean anything by it. I was just..." "Just what?" Willow cut in, her voice low but trembling with anger. "Checking in on me like you didn't help destroy my life once before?" The words sliced through the air. Heads turned. Even the waiter froze mid-step. Sasha stammered, "Willow, that was years ago." "I thought we never made peace," Willow hissed. "You pretended to be a friend, and then you made me look like a fool. And now you're back in town, smiling like nothing happened." The emotion in Willow's eyes was raw, rage, grief, and something darker. The strain of losing Drew, the constant secrets surrounding Michael, and the growing guilt about what she'd done to protect her family had finally boiled over. And Sasha, standing there in elegant white, became the easiest target. The public explosion. Before anyone could intervene, Willow's voice rose. "You always do this. Float back into Port Charles acting like the victim. Maybe people buy your tragic survivor act, but I don't. You leave destruction in your wake and then expect forgiveness." Sasha's hand trembled as she tried to keep calm. Willow, please. No. Willow's voice cracked. You don't get to talk about forgiveness when you've never once owned the pain you caused. You ruined everything between me and Michael before, and now I can feel you circling him again. That accusation hit Sasha like a slap. Michael, who had just entered the lobby, froze at the sight of the confrontation. His face blanched as Willow turned on him next. Tell her, Michael. Willow demanded. Tell her she's not welcome in our lives anymore. The entire restaurant went silent. Michael opened his mouth to speak, but his hesitation said everything. Sasha looked away, her eyes filling with tears. Unbelievable, Willow whispered. You can't even defend me. And with that, she threw her drink, not at Sasha, but across the marble floor, the glass shattering like her composure. She stormed out, her heels echoing down the hallway, leaving a stunned silence behind. Michael torn between two worlds. Later that evening, Michael found Willow at home, pacing by the fireplace. Her fury had melted into trembling exhaustion. I'm sorry, she murmured when he walked in, though her voice lacked conviction. I couldn't take it anymore. Michael sighed. You went too far, Willow. Sasha didn't deserve that. She's been through enough. Willow's eyes snapped up, sharp as knives. And what about me? Have I not been through enough, Michael? Or does everyone's pain matter more than mine? Michael had no answer. The gulf between them, once small and reparable, now felt like a canyon. But even as their marriage teetered, another tragedy was already unfolding across town. Lulu's return and shocking attack. At General Hospital, the news everyone had been praying for finally broke. Lulu Spencer had woken up. After years in a coma following the explosion, she opened her eyes, confused but alive. Laura wept tears of joy, and Dante stayed glued to her side, unable to believe his family was getting a second chance. Lulu's first words were faint but filled with fear. Where's Charlotte? Laura reassured her, but Lulu's memories were fragmented. There was fire, someone screaming, she murmured. And then nothing. By evening, word of her awakening had spread. Maxie and Brooke Lynn rushed to see her, while Dante stepped out to call Rocco. But just as Lulu was left alone for a brief moment, a shadow slipped into her room. The lights flickered. The door clicked shut. Who's there? Lulu whispered, still weak. The figure stepped closer. Hooded, silent. Lulu's pulse quickened. Wait, what are you? The figure's arm swung. A brutal blow landed. The monitor shrieked as Lulu collapsed, blood staining her pillow. When Laura and Dante returned moments later, the scene sent them into panic. Nurses flooded the room as Lulu's fragile life hung in the balance again. The attack sent shockwaves through the hospital. The security footage revealed nothing. The assailant had disabled the cameras. But one nurse, trembling, claimed she'd seen someone leaving the ICU hallway, a woman with long hair, wearing a light jacket. The description could have matched anyone. Even Willow. Port Charles erupts. As the police launched their investigation, whispers flew. Willow's outburst earlier that day, her emotional instability, it all painted an unflattering picture. Jordan Ashford ordered a quiet inquiry, but word leaked fast. By morning, tabloids were already running headlines. Willow Corinthos loses control. Connection to Lulu attack? Sasha, shaken and guilt-ridden, tried to defend her old friend. She wouldn't do that, she insisted to Nina. She's just hurting. But Nina, wary after all the recent chaos, wasn't so sure. Sometimes the ones who look the calmest carry the deepest cracks, she said darkly. Meanwhile, Michael scrambled to protect his wife's name. Willow didn't go near the hospital last night, he insisted to Dante, but even Dante's eyes held doubt. And when the police found traces of blood on the sleeve of Willow's discarded jacket, blood not yet matched but eerily similar to Lulu's, Port Charles held its breath. The cliffhanger. By the end of the week, chaos reigns. Lulu's fate is uncertain, Willow's sanity is questioned, and Michael is caught between love and loyalty. At General Hospital, Sasha visits Willow, her eyes full of pity and fear. If you need to tell me something, she whispers, I'll listen. You don't have to carry this alone. Willow turns slowly, her expression unreadable. You think I did it? Sasha hesitates. Don't know what to think anymore. The silence stretches until Willow smiles. Cold and hollow. Maybe you should start being afraid, Sasha. Because when people betray me, bad things happen. The screen fades to black as the sound of sirens echoes outside the hospital.